Hello, in this video I thought I would share with you my latest mini light setup. In fact, my Halloween setup. So for those of you who have followed some of my other posts, I have worked on a mini studio, and I started out at about 6x6 to see what I could create, and I'm probably at about 6x8 right now in what you see here. So the lighting setup that I'm using, I have two AMRAN lights, a 200 XS to my right, and I have a 60 XS to my left. Right here I have a pumpkin from the Dollar Tree, and it takes two AA batteries. Some fairy lights behind me from the Dollar Tree that takes two fairy lights, and the AMRAN 25 Ace, I think it's called. Anyway, it's the $99 one that does the various lighting setups. It's a pretty cool light. The camera, GH5 Mark II with the Panasonic 42.5 f1.2 lens. And for my mic, I was having issues with sound. So I had a Rhode mic, and I was getting a lot of fan noise, and it just didn't sound very well. So I thought, and got a lot of suggestions from others who watched the video. So I went ahead with a, what do you call these mics with the transmitter lavalier? In this case, I have the Neewer, I think it's called the CM28 PRO, which I just ordered. There was a special on Amazon for, I think it was $56, normally $79, and seemed like a good deal. I borrowed this one, how it would work. I'm not, sponsoring the product or anything. I'm just saying that it seems to be working rather well from what I can tell, and seems like a simple setup and whatnot. I did have cautionary tale. I purchased a Sarmonic at a local camera store, and I got it years ago, maybe 4 years ago. And I didn't use it because I bought the Rhode also at the same time, and I just found that the Rhode was working for my needs when I was within a few feet of the camera. But once I moved back, and I'm about 6 feet now from the camera, once I moved back from the camera, I, found that I needed it. So I pulled it out of the box, and although I had tested it after I got it to make sure it was working, it was just dead. There was no way to charge it. I tried everything ChatGPT told me to do, and I contacted. There's a group on Facebook, and several people complained about having the same issue. Some of them only had the unit for a couple of months. So somebody from Sarmonic had responded and say, "Hey, contact us through the WhatsApp or send us a mail at support@sarmonic.com." And I sent the email, and I didn't receive a reply. I'm going to try one more time before I say, stay away from these guys, because tech support is pretty helpful. There's maybe nothing they could do, and honestly, my bad for leaving it in the case and probably not using it. You lose what you don't use, I guess, applies here. So I've had some email issues. I'd have to check. If I sent it from my primary email account, then I just haven't gotten a response. I did switch web hosts here recently, and so I had some issues getting up my email because I have a dedicated email that goes to my .com website, or let's put it this way, I don't know that it goes through. I have it in Gmail. It's complicated. I have it through Gmail, where I send and receive on the Gmail platform, but I have a registered domain that the email address is a registered email domain, which I'm not going to give out right now because I don't I don't care to get emails or spam. But it was very difficult, by the way, setting that up. And I used ChatGPT, which seemed to be helpful, but not helpful at the same time, and got so frustrated I went over to DeepSeek, the Chinese version, and actually DeepSeek helped me a lot and straightened out a lot of it. Like I'd upload what ChatGPT said to me. I'd said, hey, this is what ChatGPT said. And, their reply was kind of like, yeah, I can help you with this hot mess, and straighten a lot of things out. But in the end, it still had some glitches in it. So then I went to Grok, okay? I'm using them all. And Grok isn't this user-friendly because Grok, you can't put up an image. You can't say, hey, this is what I'm looking at on the screen. Grok will say, describe it to me. But you could put text up and whatnot. You could upload some, I think, text files, maybe, I don't know. Not that familiar with Grok. But I will say that Grok was pretty good, and while I didn't feel it was like nearly as user-friendly, it gave me the answers as to why, it helped me to resolve the situation. But maybe if I would have stuck with either one of the other two, it would have gotten resolved as well. But I used all three, and the jury's out. I mean, they're all kind of phenomenal, but they're all kind of like a little messed up too in their own ways. So helpful, very, very helpful. I've got a little story. And I might as well tell it because there's nothing else to do on this video. This is a test video, but you might find it helpful. I often go to ChatGPT and I can describe a situation and whatnot and say, okay, give me the settings for this. And ChatGPT will give me the settings for my camera, lens, everything, and do a very, very good job. You don't have to look at the manual, but ChatGPT, the way that it gets its information, from what it told me, is that it gets the more like instant stuff. It doesn't automatically dig deep or think deeper or whatever. So when I had a problem with my my mode dial on my GH5 Mark II, I was like, okay, how do you adjust the mode dial? Because I've been using the G9 and the G9 mode dial's a little different. And so the G9 Mark II. But ChatGPT said, okay, so what you do is you do this. You press down the mode dial, and then you turn it to where you want to go, and then that's it, simple. And because there's a little button on top. Well, I did that, and I could not, and I was afraid that I was going to break my camera because it just wasn't turning, So, bottom line, I got so frustrated, I just sent it to Panasonic, and they got back to me really quick and said, hey, we can't recreate the issue. What was your issue? And I explained to them, and they said, oh, well, the mode dial has to be up, and then you move it to where you want it, and then you push it down to lock it in place. So basically, ChatGPT was telling me the completely wrong instructions, like lock this thing and then try to move it, and so not good. And I can guarantee you ChatGPT got a tongue lashing for me on that. And you learn that if you're using ChatGPT, it does keep a history, and you can kind of input directions, like if you want it to do something and say you need to do this, 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 and instruct it in such a way that, that when it delivers the value or the output, you're getting more what you want. Like I have in there that it needs to consult the actual manual when it's asked technical questions like this, and so it has to go peruse the manual, which is easier for me to have ChatGPT do it than do it myself. Anyway, enough of that. This is good enough for me. I can't tell exactly what I've got until I put it on my monitor, but from here everything seems okay. Like I said, I can't see the ISO, but I'm pretty sure I'm at about ISO 500, which is like native ISO. And I might mention that to achieve that in this room, which is basically, this room is, there's no natural light. This is all created light. I've got windows that are, covered. It's about 5:15 or so in the afternoon. And all the light that you see here is, like I said, from my setup. So I thought that I would just let you know how little light I'm actually using relative to what's available. The AMRAM 25 ACE behind me is at 50%. The AMRAM 60 right here is at 14%. And the 200 is at 6%. So very low lighting, and I have the temperature at about 2900 Kelvin, so very warm, and hopefully the end product you see is very warm. Also, I note that because I can't see what's going on while I'm recording, but I do note from other videos that it's best to keep my head relatively still, minimize hand motions, because if I don't, there'll be focus hunting, and that's a little bit off-putting, but much less focus hunting if you keep everything here, like in the plane. And also, if I increase the light and stop down a little bit, that would also reduce the focus hunting. But I've also noticed that on the prime lenses like this, they do a little more focus hunting than the 1260 Panasonic Leica. That 1260 really is a great lens, and it's but it can't give me the it's not, I'm wide open here at f1.2, and on the 1260 I think I'm at I'm at 42 millimeters, 42.5 millimeters. And so at the 1260, it's not at 2.8, it's up around, I can't remember, but I think it's up around 3.5. So there's that. Anyway, if you watched, good on you, and that's it for this one.